people actually were like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
You know, from how long have we been playing? Like 10 minutes back. I actually got into music very late. I'm not that at 3 years and 5 years suddenly realized, oh, I love playing music.
Yeah.
I actually got into it quite late. Actually, I got into it only when I got into college and I met my musician friends there.
Okay.
And that's how it started. And so my dad always, anytime I would talk about music, he's always there. And I was a good listener. I used to listen to a lot of music. And even my mom and my dad, both of them listened to a lot of music. So that kind of built into me. So I knew music that way. And then when I got into college and then I met my musician friends and then got them home and like, hey, look, I have all these instruments. Do you guys want to play?
Right.
And they're like going bonkers. They're like, oh my God, you have so many guitars and what are you doing? I don't play. My dad plays and I got belted for that. What's wrong with you? You should have learned all this. I thought you're like some crazy guitarist and you're like, like playing some major riffs and all. No, I don't know anything. So then that kind of grew and then I became like a groupie.
Okay.
I would go everywhere where the college band would perform and it kind of started there. And
okay.
Actually, I was not supposed to be a drummer.
Okay.
I was actually supposed to be a guitarist.
Wow.
So my friend was like, oh, since your dad's a guitarist, why don't you start playing guitar as well? I'm like, okay, I'll try.
It's like peer pressure.
Yeah, it actually became peer pressure. And I just turned 18. I was like, man, I need to do something.
Right.
And I started that and in like 3 to 6 months, I picked up guitaring and I was playing. And then randomly one day, one show came up where my guitarist comes to me and he's like, hey, by any chance, can you play some percussion or can you do something? I know you have rhythm sense and all that. Can you do something? I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll try. I don't know what I can do so much, but I'll try definitely. And then we went and did this small acoustic gig where we performed and people actually were like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
From how long have we been playing? Like 10 minutes back. So they fell in love with it and then my friends are like, oh man, you can actually like take it seriously enough. Like, I don't know, let's see. And then, but I just kept playing guitar. I kind of started liking guitaring. Then after that, one day, one more show came up, again, like a college competition where my guitarist, who's also my best friend, he comes to me and like, man, why don't you play bass? We don't have a bassy. So you just fill in with some bass lines and we'll do something. I'm like, what is happening?
So you're playing strings still now?
Yeah, I was just on an acoustic guitar. So that's all I knew. Like, hold the guitar and play something. And, all the girls will like you. So I was, and then I started, picked up the bass, played a few songs. And that's all. I knew only 5 songs.
Okay.
So you asked me to play bass, I know these 5 songs, I'll play. No problem.
Right.
So I played that and it was good fun.
Right.
Then, say about 6 months into me getting into music and playing all this, the drummer of the college band, he quit. He said, no man, I'm serious. And he was like a metal drummer. These guys wanted to do some other kind of music,
Right.
So he was like, no, this is not my scene. I don't want to do this.
Right.
And then, who to catch?
The guy who keeps changing strings.
He come back to me and he's like, hey, we've seen you play percussion. I know you're good and all. Why don't you learn the drums? I was like, oh God, what do I do now? Yeah. So, but then I was like, okay, must be fun. Let's see. Yeah. I picked up the drums and my dad's best friend, who was the drummer of his band back then, had a drum kit, like some 30-year-old drum kit. He said, yeah, take it and go. So after all, just for learning.
Right.
So I like, okay, cool, awesome. Went to his place, picked up the drum kit, came home, set it up in my house, and started playing. And I didn't have any pedals and drum pedals and nothing. It was just the drums.
The basic.
Yeah. So then my dad was like, okay, let's do a DIY. And I actually created a pedal using a cycle hub.
Wow.
As a pedal and then welded it together and some circus we did and I got one pedal done and then I was learning with that. And as my dad saw, he's slowly getting more serious into drumming and then, thought, let's invest in a much better equipment.
Right.
And that's how it grew. And he kept asking me, are you sure about drumming? I was like, yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to change now. So, and then I got into it seriously and kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And yeah, it's been now 15 years.
And all of this is,
14 years now.
and this is all during college times?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I officially started drumming when I was 19.
Okay.
So,
which according to you is a little late,
yeah,
but still,
it is late.
Yeah.
No, like I always used to feel behind compared to the rest of my band because they all been playing music and been with instruments for the last 5 years, 6 years. So they were just like 8 and 10 years old when they started.
Right.
So when you compare it like that, someone starting at 19, you just feel like, okay,
does this make sense?
Yeah. But then I thought, okay, this is something that really is cool.
Yeah.
And I just kept growing and growing. And family support was always there. Like I said,
Nice.
Dad and mom have always been into music. My mom's younger brother was also a guitarist.
Wow. Okay.
And back in 60s and 70s itself, he used to session for movies and with big artists, used to tour and all that. So my mom knows what it is. My dad was anyway into it.
Right.
So that way, I never had that bad sign of, okay, you shouldn't do this. This is just time pass.
Right.
You know. Yeah. I took it up seriously and I grew. And my dad told me even back then, if you're taking it up seriously, better get real about it. Don't just do time pass.
Right.
So that's how it happened.